Today, I want to show you how you can working with animation tools in the Duik Bassel. For do that, first go here. Second icon, click on it, and after that, click on keys. Here we have two options. First, I want to show you what is keys options. When you click on it, here you can see some options. First is select keyframes. What's that? For example, I want to select all keyframes in my composition. If you want to do that, first click on this key selector option. And after that, here, when you click on it, we have two options, time and range. If you click on the time, and here, selected layers, you should select that layer that you want, select that keyframe. For example, if I change this to here, change indicator on this keyframe. And after that, if you click on the selected layers, you must select your layer. And after that, when you click on the select, it's not select this keyframe because here in the controllers, we should change that to all layers because controllers is useful for all controllers that you created in the Duik Bassel. Okay, for now I'm changing to all layers, and after that, here when you select, for example, this layer, and after that, when you click on the select, you can see it's automatic. Click and select this keyframe. Now, if you change the selected layers to all layers, and for example, I'm gonna to change this keyframe under this, very good. Now, when we select these two layer, and after that, here when we select on select, you can see it select these two keyframe under this indicator. Okay, now if I change this time to range, if you click and change it to range, now when we click on the select, we can see it's select all keyframes in this workspace. For example, my workspace from 0 here to about 4 seconds. Now if I change my workspace to here and drag it here, now again if you click on the select, first click here, and now when we on the select, as we can see, it just select all keyframes between this workspace like this. It's very useful when we have many layers, and if we have many keyframes, we can select that keyframes very easy. Okay. Now I want to show you here what's these options. These options, that means position, rotation, scale, opacity, mask, effects, and if you click on this, that means if all these options have keyframes, select them. For example, if I select this rotation, and now when we click on the select, because here we don't have rotation keyframes, it's not happening here. But if I change it to position, and when we click on it, it changed to red. That means I need just keyframes in the position. Now, when we click on the select, now we can see it select all position here in the all layers. And for now, if I change this to selected layers, you should select that layer that you want, select and choose that keyframes. Now when we click on this, you can see it just select this highlight layer. That's really good. For understanding this better, I'm gonna to click on this ball and I want add a keyframe, for example. Feel good. And now from this opacity, from here to here, I'm gonna to change this to 100. Okay. Now when we go to effect, here you can see these two keyframes. Now, if I want to select these two keyframes, you must click and turn on this FX. And after that, and turn off this position. And you can select, for example, 3 of them and active 3 of them. But for now, I just want these effects. Very good. Turn on this effects, click on it, and after that, when we select on this layer, because here it changed to selected layer, and now when we click on the select, okay, now we can see just select these effect keyframes. It can very helpful, but you can select on this to select all keyframes in that layer. And now when we click on select, here you can see it select all keyframes between this workspace. And again, you can change this to time, that if you want, just select from this indicator. Okay, that's really good. After you select your keyframes that you want, change it, and if you want, for example, smoothing that keyframes, okay, I'm gonna to change it here, and I want delete this fill. Okay, and select on the position. Very good. Now when we select and go to back, after you select your keyframes, here we have many options for creating really great animation. What's that? First icon here that used if you want add a keyframe. For example, when you click on it and change the color of that to red, and here you can see it changed to this easy ease icon with plus. That means we can now add a keyframes. For example, here I want add a keyframe here. Select your layer that you want, and here now when you click on these icons, you can create a keyframe here. For example, if you click on linear interpolation, not happen anything because you should select that property that you want, add a keyframe for that. For example, here I want add a keyframe to this position, and after that from here again, when you click on, for example, linear interpolation, now we can see it creates another keyframe. I'm gonna to press Ctrl Z, and now, for example, if you want easy ease, again, when you click that, it's add a keyframe. That's because of I changed this icon to this easy ease with plus. If you click on it again, and now when you can see it changed to white. This icon, the first icon is changed to white with a pencil. That means now when we select a property, for example, when you select a position property, and now if you select on, for example, easy ease, now you can see it changed all keyframes in this option, change it to easy ease. Or for example, here when you click it, it changed all of them to easy in or easy out. You can select it, or you can hold it. For example, it will be like this for this ball. Or for example, if I change it to easy ease. It's like this. And if you go to graph editor and select on the position, you can see what's happening here. For example, again, easy in or easy out, or for example, easy is or hold it. You can see what's happening here in the graph editor. And this is linear interpolation. This is a default. Or you can select on the roving or auto Bezier. For example, if you click on the auto Bezier, it will be like this. Really good. And if you change it to easy ease, and here we have an option, and here we have some presets. When you click, for example, this preset, you can change the velocity of that. For example, here when you change it to you can select and drag it to left and right, or here you can use these presets. For example, if I change it to 100, you can see our curves will be like this. That means when we play that, you can change velocity like this, or if you decrease the number of that to here, a start and end is very soon, but here between these two keyframes it's slower. But when we change it to increase and change it to, for example, 100, first and between two keyframes it's slow, and when we arrive this keyframe it's faster, like that's really good. And if you want pick up a keyframe, for example, I'm going to change this, pick up, for example, this keyframe, properties, all velocities and other things, you should select on this icon, pick ease and velocity from key. When we pick that, and now when you select another keyframe, for example, this keyframe, I want change this to exactly velocity and is like this keyframe. Select that and select, for example, this is. Now it's exactly, this keyframe is exactly like this keyframe that we pick up velocity and is. Now when we play that, it's like this. Very good. And here we have 3 buttons: cleaner, copy animation, and paste animation. First, I'm gonna to duplicate this layer, and from here turn off these keyframes, drag it to here, okay. Now you can select on this position, and as we can see it's select all keyframes. And now when you click on the copy animation, now it's copy all this keyframe. And now when we select on this layer, and after that here in the paste anim, if you click on it here, we have a new window that asks us from the number 2 layer, copy of that, and now paste on which layer. When you select on that, I want paste on the first layer. Click on it, and now when you click on the OK, As we can see, it's paste this animation like this and paste all keyframe. And another thing that we have, that name is cleaner. What's the cleaner? When you click on a position and select all this keyframe, and now if I change this to graph editor, and now when we click on the cleaner, again click on the position and now cleaner, it's automatic smoothing your path and automatic delete some keyframes that it think don't need it in this layer. It's fix all things and automatic add a smooth and clean your keyframes with cleaner bottom. Now when we play that, it's like this. If I turn off show this, like this. Very good. In next video I wanted to show you what is tools options.